good. But, so be prepared for Full House, though. Don't be stingy with the, and this is, I grew up Catholic, so, and I bonded actually with Pastor Jen, who also grew up Catholic, like, there's cushions. So be generous with the cushions, please. We'll get started in just a couple of minutes. We've got a fantastic show for you tonight. Thank you. Started in like a minute and a half. Officially, everyone, to the 25th Portsmouth Maritime Folk Festival. Yeah, it's, so in 2000, it's the 25th, even, although it started in 2000, because there was this little, I don't know if you remember, there's like something happened 5 years ago. It was a little weird. In 2000, the session culture at the press room, due to some weird artifacts of New Hampshire liquor licensing laws, had this amazing, deep, rich, traditional music culture. And Peter Contrastano and Jeff Warner said, you know, we've got all this sea music heritage, and we're in this seaside town. We should have a festival, and we should do it. There was a sea music festival at Mystic Seaport, which was great, but it was like on the grounds of a museum. It was kind of isolated and separated. And they were both familiar with the sort of the British style of festival, which was in and around the downtown. They said, we should do that here in Portsmouth. We should make it part of the town, make it part of the city, make it part of the community, and involve and engage and promote the whole city. And they made that happen in 2000. Down in Prescott Park. It was kind of a small thing, mostly local performers, and it was amazing. They did it again the next year, and the next year, and the next year. And for 20 years, it went on, and it was amazing. And it started to draw people from around the world, from Australia, from Britain, from Canada, and from across the United States. But then basically the same people were running it for 20 years. And in 2019, they said, we're burned out. We tried to find other people to take it on. So this year is going to be the last year. And then there were several of us who said, no, no, this is amazing. This is fantastic. I had only just moved back to the area. My wife collects degrees. It's a thing. And a bunch of people, because I'm the one standing up here, some people say, oh, thank you, Chris. No. I've done some of the work, but there's a huge number of people who have done so much work for the last 6 years to keep the festival going. Because in 2019 we said, no, we're going to keep this going. And we started planning the 2020 festival. So then we started planning the 2021 festival. We did that online. It was good. Full, 4 tracks of programming, online showcasing. It was great. It was the best we could do. 2022, we came back to the streets, and it was wonderful. And we've learned a lot every single year. And this year, it's our 4th year back on the streets. And it's actually, I don't want to say it's been easy exactly, but it's been comfortable. We've learned so much. And I want to thank, how many of you have been volunteers over the last 5 years? Donors. Okay. We need all of you. How many of you have been in an audience before this year? How many of you is this your first time here? Okay. Because this is the magic of this event, is that there's a bunch of people who love this kind of music and they're here every year, and there's people who come to events like this elsewhere and they're like, oh, I heard Portsmouth is good, and they come to Portsmouth, and then there's the people who wander by Market Square on a Saturday in September and go, what's that? I need that. That was my experience at a different event many years ago, which is how I got into this. And it's so amazing to see the new people coming in and the old people coming back, and everyone who does the work year after year. So I'll put out the pitch once again. We need volunteers to make the festival run during the weekend, and thank you all who do that. We also need volunteers year-round. And those of you who have already done that, thank you so much. But those of you who are thinking about getting just a little more involved, talk to me or anyone else who's got the board or advisory on their name tag. We'd love to have your help making this happen year after year. So thank you, all of you. This is what it's about. And it's about singing with each other, so I hope you will all sing along with all of our performers tonight. We have a fantastic program tonight. We're super excited about everyone who's on the program tonight. And we're going to kick it off with, I was just telling Jules, at this Roving Sailors Saturday morning in 2018 or 2019, this person started singing. And just, oh, someone's got a shanty. Who's that? And Ken Schatz had brought a whole bunch of people up from New York. I was like, Ken, who's that person? Who's that? Oh, that's Jules. Okay, well, Jules has got to come to our festival. And here's Jules and the Ranzo Boys.
Johnny come down, high road, oh, oh, man.
are the Ranzo boys.
Yeah. We are New York City's foremost and only queer maritime trio. We have not yet been proven wrong on that, so put in your bids. We learned that song from the singing of Craig Edwards and Ken Schatz. This next one is not maritime, but you'll forgive us because it's very timely. This is a 17th century poem about the enclosures in England when the commons were taken away from public use for private use. This was set by Craig Edwards. And this is a shruti box, which is a traditional sea music instrument, and by that I mean it's an Indian classical drum. The law locks up the man or woman who steals the goose from off the common, but leaves the greater villain loose, who steals the common from the goose. The law demands that we atone when we take things we do not own, but leaves the lords and ladies fine, who takes the things that's yours and mine. The law locks up the man or woman who steals the goose from off the common, but leaves the greater villain loose, who steals the common from the goose. The poor and wretched don't escape when they conspire the law to break. This must be so, yet we endure those who conspire to make the law. The law locks up the man or woman who steals the goose from off the common, but leaves the greater villain loose, who steals the common from the law locks up the man or woman who steals the goose from off the common, and geese will still a common lack until we go and steal it back.
Got another traditional sea music instrument for you here. This is an Appalachian mountain dulcimer from the seafaring region of Appalachia. And I'll do you one better. I'm not even playing it as a dulcimer right now. I'm using it as a percussion instrument. We had the privilege of doing some programming for the South Street Seaport Museum in New York City on queer maritime history. And a big piece of queer maritime history that we love is there's many songs about cross-dressing sailors going to sea, disguised as a man, because women can't go to sea. So if you want to find your lover, if you want to seek adventure, you have to dress like a man. And we learned over the course of conducting that programming that in fact women were allowed to go to sea. So wherefore all of the songs about dressing like men? This is one of those songs.
Johnny went a sailing with a weak and troubled mind to leave his native country and darn dear behind. Say no, Lily, oh, my darling, you don't know. Say no, Lily, oh, my darling, you don't know. She dressed herself in men's array, and apparel she put on, and through the field of battle she marched the men along. Sing, oh, Lily, oh, my darling, you don't know. Sing, oh, Lily, oh, my darling, you don't know. Your cheeks are red and rosy, your fingers are neat and small, your waist too slim and slender to face the cannonball. Sing, oh, Lily, oh, my darling, you don't know. Sing, oh, Lily, oh, my darling, you don't know. My cheeks are red and rosy, my fingers are neat and small, but I would not change my countenance to see 10,000 fall. Sing, oh, Lily, oh, my darling, you don't know. Sing, oh, Lily, oh, my darling, you don't know. Sing, oh, Lily, oh, my darling, you don't know. Sing, oh, Lily, oh, my darling, you don't know. Sing, oh, Lily, oh, my darling, you don't know. Sing, oh, Lily, oh, my darling, you don't know. The battle being ended, she rode the circle round, and through the dead and dying, her darling dear she found. Sing, oh, Lily, oh, my darling, you don't know. Sing, oh, Lily, oh, my darling, you don't know. She picked him up all in her arms and carried him to town, and sent for a London doctor to heal his bleeding wounds. Sing, oh, Lily, oh, my darling, you don't know. Sing, oh, Lily, oh, my darling, you don't know. This couple, they got married, so well did they agree. This couple, they got married, so why not you and me? Sing, oh, Lily, oh, my darling, you don't know. Sing, oh, Lily, oh, my darling, you don't know. Sing, oh, Lily, oh, my darling, you don't know. So we are going to invite to the stage our dear friend AJ Wright. This song came to us from the dusty depths of the Spotify algorithm. Buy your CDs, buy your music on Bandcamp, but also sometimes Spotify is useful for finding new stuff. And there was a period a while ago when whenever we would listen to a nice album, Burt Lloyd and da-da-da, and we would get this song as the next song. Like, you clearly want to hear this song, and it is arresting, to say the least. But we thought, okay, I guess we are learning this song, and we are very grateful to AJ for putting a really cool harmony on it to make it from a 3-part to a 4-part. It is called Minesweepers. The words are from Rudyard Kipling. It's a poem about World War I minesweepers, sweepers for mines, trawlers, and the tune is Peter Bellamy-ish. Dawn off the foreland, the young flood making, jumbled and short and steep. Black in the hollows and bright currents breaking, awkward water to sweep. Mines reported in the fairway, warn all traffic and detain. Send up Unity, Clarabelle, Syrian, Stormcock and Golden Gain. Noon off the foreland, the first ebb making, lumpy and strong in the bite. Boom after boom, and the Gulf hut shaking, and the jackdaws wild with fright. Mines located in the fairway, boats now working up a chain. Sweepers, Unity, Clarabelle, Syrian, Stormcock and Golden Gain.
starts with luck. This next one requires me to walk over and get that guitar. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. That'll make it easier.
We do this fun thing where we stand up and sit down constantly. Sound engineers love it.
Right? I got this one from the Singing of Normal Waters, and this is when first I came to Caledonia. When first I came to Caledonia, and I got loading at number 3, and I got lodging with Donald Norman. He had a daughter, could make good tea, and it was me and my brother Charlie, 2 bigger shavers you ne'er did see. We're spirit meals in the month of April, and starving stays out on Scattery. I went to Norman's to buy some broken, a cake of soap and a pound of tea, but Norman said that I could not have them till fish got plenty on Scattery. So I went over to that big harbor. I only went for to see the spray. I saw a maid from the Largery over. She looked to me like the Queen of May. If I had pen from Pennsylvania, and I had paper so snowy white, and I had ink from the rosy morning, a true love letter to you I'd write. I put my foot on the deepest ocean, as far from land as once I could be. For when I'm sailing o'er deepest waters, a woman's love would not trouble me. I put my head to a cask of brandy, and it's a dandy, I do declare. For when I'm drinking, I'm seldom thinking how I might gain that young lady fair. When first I came to Caledonia, and I got loading at number 3, and I got lodging with Donald Norman. He had a daughter, could make good tea.
So, Chris was talking a little bit earlier about how this festival was going on for 19, 20 years, and 2019 was going to be the last one. 2019 was the first time that we showed up and were like roving around like, oh my God, this is so cool. And that was that was one of the years that John Roberts was the headliner. And I remember sitting in the Methodist church, listening to him sing this song that we are about to sing, and being like, my God, this is so freaking cool. And it has been one of our greatest pleasures to come into this music and sit at the feet and change things and also learn about things that we want to hold. These stories are things that are just precious. And yeah, so this song that we're gonna do is called Anderson's Coast. It was written by John Warner in Australia. We don't have a banjo, so it's not gonna be like John's.
That's Chekhov's banjo.
Yeah. It's like if you leave your car window down, a banjo will appear.
Festival safety first, please.
It's old, yes. Old Bass Strait roars like some great mill race. And where are you, my Annie? And the same moon shines on this distant place, as shone that night on my Annie's face. And Annie, dear, don't wait for me. I fear I shall not return to thee. There's naught to do but endure my fate and watch the moon, the lonely moon, like the breakers on wild Bass Strait. We stole a vessel and all her gear. And where are you, my Annie? And from Van Diemen's we north did steer, till Bass Strait's wild waves wrecked us here. And Annie, dear, don't wait for me. I fear I shall not return to thee. There's naught to do but endure my fate and watch the moon, the lonely moon, like the breakers on wild Bass Strait. And somewhere west Port Melbourne lies. And where are you, my Annie? Through swamps infested with snakes and flies, the fool who walks there surely dies. And Annie, dear, don't wait for me. I fear I shall not return to thee. There's naught to do but endure my fate and watch the moon, the lonely moon, like the breakers on wild Bass Strait. We hail no ships, though the time it drags. And where are you, my Annie? With our chain gang roll and our government rags, they mark us out as Van Diemen's lags. And Annie, dear, don't wait for me. I fear I shall not return to thee. There's naught to do but endure my fate and watch the moon, the lonely moon, like the breakers on wild Bass Strait. We fled the lash and the chafing chain. And where are you, my Annie? We fled hard labor and brutal pain. And here we are, and here we remain. And Annie, dear, don't
church. This is about the wages of sin. This is a good night ballad that our friends the Box Hunters found the text for. It's called Charles Gibbs. It was at the Forget-Me-Not Songster in 1899. And we set it to the Traditions version of The Banks of the Nile. Some light reharmonization. And this is one we recorded for a podcast, a New England Maritime History podcast on Connecticut Public Radio. It's called Off the Path. We have an EP out now with the Off the Path sessions that you can find on Bandcamp, and this is one of the songs from that.
Yep. Oh, all that now stand round me, take warning by my fate. Avoid the paths of sin and death before it is too late. I once had tender parents who dearly loved their son, but I proved disobedient and in folly's path did run. I joined Maria, privateer, commanded by Captain Bell, and soon we took her from him. The truth to you I'll tell. We hoisted up the black flag, a pirate I became. I then committed cruelties too dreadful for to name. No sex nor age we spared, but all we took were slain. No mercy did we ever show, for dead men tell no tales. My bloody knife was e'er ready, for be it understood. No God nor man I ever feared upon the briny flood. No pity have I ever shown, and who can pity me? Though here I die without a sigh upon the gallows tree, my tender mother's heart will ache, my father dear will groan, but none here recognizes me, I die here all alone. My hardened heart, it will not bend, it still clings on to life. Must I leave this world behind for one of endless strife? Will furies drag my spirit home? Will fiends torment my soul? All this and more I must endure for love of cursed gold.
Let's give a hand for sound. This is our last song for you today, and then we'll have some wonderful other musicians. This is a song by Nancy Kerr, who's one of my favorite modern songwriters. And this is a song that she wrote looking at the Selkie narrative and how it can be very resonant with trans people specifically. And she wrote it for trans friends of hers. And we like to sing it to bring all the sides of the community together. We're very lucky to get to bring queer people into this music, to bring this music to queer people, to teach people about the queerness in this music. It's a very lucky thing that we get to do. So this is Fragile Water.
Like a
generations may understand. We are all beaten sand and fragile water. My little fish, slip off your skin and leave it in the tide for gulls to plunder. And if you wish to walk or swim, let there be nothing in the world to hinder. My little fish, slip off your skin and leave it in the tide for gulls to plunder. And if you wish to walk or swim, let there be nothing in the world to hinder. There are other gifts than silver, like another word for lover, if we only hold each other. We are beaten sand and fragile water. There are other gifts than silver, like another word for lover, if we only hold each other. We are beaten sand and fragile water. We are beaten sand and fragile water.
Lindsay, Lafayette, Jules, Ranzo. I realized I put you in a bit of a conundrum. They said, hey everybody, sing along. And then they produced these amazing harmonies that none of us wanted to step on. So I got into this music relatively late in life for some of us in my 30s, and I kept getting that, oh, it's so nice to see young people. I was like, but now that I'm technically not one of the young people as of 2 years ago, I'm more appreciative of this chain, and we didn't intentionally structure it this way, but we are kind of going from the newer people in this music to more experienced people, and I think you're gonna just really enjoy it. So, and I also want to give a big hand to Jason for dealing with all the choreography there. Jason's been doing a bang-up job for us with sound since we came back to the streets in 2022. This next set is, I don't want to say it's going to be simpler, because I think that's not fair, but there's only one person, so at least...
It means you're going to need to sing.
So you're going to need to sing, and hopefully you can stand up and sing down, sing jumping jacks or anything. Okay, so it'll make Jason's life easier too. So I got to know the Ranzo boys when they were newer on the scene than I was, and there's not a lot of people that I can say that about. So I'm really so appreciative that they're performing at our concert. Chris, on the other hand, is one of the people that I've known for a little longer. Had been working at Mystic Seaport for I don't know how many years before I came on scene there. And I remember particularly one Sunday morning, I might have been a little hungover, but there was a set where it was you and Danny Spooner, and I forget who else. And I think, did you sing The Last Leviathan, or Danny did, and you did something else? And I started crying. Aw, I'm gonna blame the booze for that. No,
It was probably Danny.
Yeah. But you did something else that made me tear up. And so it's such a delight. I'm looking over our list, I was like, has Chris performed at our festival before? I don't think he has. That's a big mistake. We should fix that. And so we did. And so here, I hope you will appreciate as much as I do Chris's voice and instrumentalization and knowledge, and do sing along in this one, please. Chris Koldewey.
I have no idea who he just introduced, but I'm here until he gets here. Hey, you'll know the chorus to this joining, please. Ik heb vollen Hamburg 4 masten zijn, te behouden, de masten zijn schip, als de schippen zijn been, te behouden, houden, ho. Oh, blow, boys, blow, for California, all is plenty of gold, so I've been told, on the banks of the Sacramento. Dat deck we verliezen, verschiet und verschmiert, te behouden, und de Lüt von dat Schiff war glatt und clear, te behouden, ho. Oh, blow, boys, blow, for California, all is plenty of gold, so I've been told, on the banks of the Sacramento. Dat Lüt wir verwanzen und de Kompass wir verdreckt, te behouden, dem Süden, de Lieben von Süden weg, te behouden, ho. Oh, blow, boys, blow, for California, all is plenty of gold, so I've been told, on the banks of the Sacramento. Und das Rundfleisch wird grün und die Speckwürfel waren, te behouden, komm, gib dat Blut Sand wie Nachtsand, te behouden, ho. Oh, boys, blow, for California, all is plenty of gold, so I've been told, on the banks of the Sacramento. Und als dat Schiff so behobt, der Kaptein, te behouden, den Lüt vor dat Schiff wog Blutschein heim, te behouden, ho. Plattdeutsch, or Low German. 100 years ago, my father was born in Hamburg, and it was one of the first songs that I remember as a kid, because we had these albums of German shanty choirs. You haven't lived, trust me. And one of the things that used to irritate him beyond words was, as a kid, I would start singing, "Oh, blow, boys, blow, für California, oh, there's plenty of gold, so I've been told, on the banks of the Sacramento." And you would look at me and say, "You're an American, you sing the English words the way they're supposed to be sung." What he did not know was that I was being an incredibly prophetic 9-year-old, because I knew someday California would get a governor that would pronounce all those words. So captains had oftentimes a financial stake in the trades that they were involved in, and if the voyage failed, so did they. So all of their housing that they had, all of the daughters who might have been betrothed to them because they were going to be very wealthy, might be off the table. And there's a wonderful, wonderful singer, source singer, Grammy Fish, Rainborn Fish. It's a New Hampshire connection. And this is from the magnificent Warner collection, which, I have it on good authority, has been re-released. It's out again, folks. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to go out buy it. I'll wait. Okay, anyway, I highly recommend getting it. will tell you of a sailor, his name was Captain John. They reported him a failure with his ship and cargo gone. He spent his money freely and he did not count the cost. When in a foreign harbor his fortune it was lost. His ship moved into port and he landed at the quay. No friend came to greet him, so I have heard them say, with his old tongue courage he did sing a merry song. No one had a greeting for the failure Captain John. He called into a pub that he often did lodge in. No one bid him welcome as he boldly entered in. He kindly asked the landlord, brisk as brisk could be, send down your daughter Polly and sit her down by me. Have you forgot your reckonings to me, Captain John? For the gold you owe me, I've surely waited long. My daughter Polly's busy and she cannot come to thee. Little in your company she likes for to be. Oh, Johnny, being weary, he hung down his head. He then called for a candle for to light him to bed. My beds, they are not empty, John, shall not be all week. For some other lodgings poor Johnny will seek. John, well, tell to me your reckonings, down they shall be paid. That I'll not pay my reckonings, you need not be afraid. It's 45 shillings, John, as I have often told. Now it must be paid in silver or in gold. John put his hands in his pockets, he pulled out some gold. It is the same old story that so oft has been told. The sight of the money made the old landlord rue. He said a hearty greeting, John, I spoke in jest to you. I'll call down the daughter Polly and sit her down by you. She loves you truly, Captain John, and ever has been true. You need not seek for lodgings, for you are a friend of mine. You to Polly sure will prove a husband true and kind. Before I lodge in your house, I lie out on the street. Instead of kindly welcoming and scorn, you did me greet. You thought I had no money and you turned me from your door. Now I'll seek a sweetheart on a far-off distant shore.
Thank you. Wow, I've got a crew.
Amazing songwriter back in the day named Stan Rogers. And he envisioned a wonderful story up the St. Lawrence Seaway where a lot of the tankers and freighters go through, that there was an annual conversation that went on between a lock keeper to get into the lakes and do the various levels, and a sailor who talked about, all of his conquests over the South Pacific and things like that. And his song is entirely from the perspective of the lock keeper. It's all his voice. And been a favorite for a while. Laden even deeper than the time before. Oriental oils, tea brought back from Singapore. As we wait for my lock to cycle, I see my wife's just given me a son you cried. Is that all that you've done? She wears bougainvillea blossoms. You pluck them from her hair, toss them in the tide. Sweep her in your arms, carry her inside. Her sighs catch on your shoulder. Her moonlit eyes grow cold and wiser through the tears. And I say, how could you stand to leave her for a year? Then come with me, you say, where the Southern Cross rides high on your shoulder. Come with me, you say, each day you tend this lock, you're one day older, while your blood runs colder. But that anchor chain's a fetter. With it, you are tethered to the foam, and I wouldn't trade your life for 1 hour of home. Sure, I'm stuck here on the seaway, while you compensate for leeway through the trades, and you shoot the stars to see the miles you have made. You laugh at the hearts you've riven. Which of these has given us more love or life? You, your tropic maids, or me, my wife? Then come with me, you cry, where the Southern Cross rides high on your shoulder. Come with me, you say, each day you tend this lock, you're one day older, while your blood runs colder. But that anchor chains are fettered. With it, you are tethered to the foam, and I wouldn't trade your whole life for 1 hour of home. Thanks. I was amazingly honored to be part of the crew in 2014 that sailed the only wooden whale ship left in the world, the Charles W. Morgan. What happened back in the day was she was due in for a refit, and they went to the president and they said, okay, this is how much it's going to cost to get her to not sink into the Mystic River. And he said, well, how much to sail? And they said, you're kidding. She had sailed since 1921. And they gave him a price, and he said, yeah, okay, let's do it. So it was absolutely incredible. So I've got a very special relationship with her. One of my colleagues there, Craig Edwards, who also, golly gee willikers, the Ranzo boys, also did a wonderful one song, had this idea, what would the Morgan sing to us if she were able to? My keel first kissed the salty waves all on a July morning, the year 1841, when first that day was mine. They laid in 2 years of supplies, boats, beef, casks, spars, and sail, and did harpoon and lance provide to hunt the mighty whale. And make of me a link of chain that past to present joining will anchor us in time's swift stream as night flows into morning. Out of New Bedford I did roam, my quarry to pursue, with 35 whalemen bold to hunt the oceans through. Oh, for the days when I was young, the whales were plenty then, and like the wolves among the sheep, so were my whaling men. And make of me a link of chain that past to present joining will anchor us in time's swift stream as night flows into morning. The great whales lay dead by my side, the men like mules did toil, the seas did churn and the fires burn, my decks ran with oil. But the years rolled on like many waves, the whales came far and few, till at last they warped me to the dock and paid off my last crew. And make of me a link of chain that past to present joining will anchor us in time's swift stream as night flows into morning. Now here at the wharf I lie, of all my kind the last, but like a wake traced in the waves to show where once I passed. I'm a witness to a time that fades like stars before the day, that shifts and glimmers beckoning like moonlight on the bay. Make of me a link of chain that past to present joining will anchor us in time's swift stream as night flows into morning. Thank you for singing. Boys. That's boys in the completely non-gender specific sense.
We name ourselves boys.
I'm throwing you a bone, deal with it. So, a couple of things that you need to know. A kid is 19th century maritime slang for the leather plates that they would eat out of. This is extremely important, otherwise you'll be very disturbed by one of these verses. A studding sail is an extension onto the yards to put on more sail. These are particularly cranky and not fun to handle. This is... I can still take it in a fair fight, son. Don't interrupt old people. How many times?
There's a third thing that we needed to know.
Yeah, well, studying so. Oh yeah, this is out of a whaleman's journal from the 1860s. You'll know the chorus. You'll need to sing. Oh, the very first voyage I went to sea, to gallant yards I crossed all three, the colors flying down our mizzen peak, a rattling breeze made the old ship creak with a big bow wow, down row row, hold it right all day. Oh, now our breakfast is come down, there empty kids lie all around. One kicks them here, another kicks them there. Blame the old cook for leaving them there with a big bow wow, down row row, hold it right all day. Oh, now our breakfast is all done. One to your duty boys, everyone. One to the gaskets, others to the points. Curse the old ship for our limbs and joints. The big bow wow, down row row, hold it right all day. A squall is coming on. Along to the weather quarter, boys, all along. Take in your stunsails all low and aloft. Blew up to gallants and royals fore and aft. The big bow wow, down row row, hold it right all day. Oh, cursed and hanged be the great old fool that first invented the stunsail boom. May he be hanged and his generations cursed. Humbugging rascal that invented them first. With a big bow wow, down row row, hold it right all day. There is one more thing that I do crave, that he may meet with a watery grave. A belt for a ring and a belt for a toe. Sharks take his body and take his soul. And the big bow wow, down row row, hold it right all day. When the big bow wow, down row row, hold it right all day. Wow, thank you so much. It is really such an incredible honor to be here. I have loved this festival for a lot of years. It really is kind of like, after time, you just get a whole lot. There are no strangers here, just, the friends you haven't met yet and you get to know. And boy, what amazing hands the future of sea music is in. Thanks so much to not only the sound, but all of the volunteers. As you go to all of these different venues, you're seeing people who are volunteering their time, volunteering their talents. They need to be really, really thanked. I'm very grateful. And of course, to Chris and Lanes for doing the heavy lifting. Song about going home, and I'm not going to lie, it's sung more than a few people home, especially lately. And always been just a favorite. This is the mandatory participation portion of the program. And with deep-seated apologies to AJ, who doesn't like this.
I'm never sure when someone picks up a banjo, I'm really excited or scared. So. Thank you to Chris. Let's hear another hand for Chris and the Ranzo boys. So it's not fun. I mean, there is a merch table out there, and thank you to the volunteers who are running that. You can take home some of the festival with you. If you drag the performers with you, like, things get awkward. So just take their music instead. Our headliners tonight, all the people, most of the people who are performing this weekend have CDs, patches, stickers, LPs. I guess that's still a thing. So go spend. Keep the economy going. We need that help right now. And support the performers. Take 15, and we'll be back here. There are now, thanks to the lovely renovations here, there are 4 restrooms on this level. So yes, avail yourselves of those too. And I'll see you back in 15 minutes. Thank you so much.
I actually understood what they were talking
Maybe they thought that was just random noise, which, I mean, I don't blame them. Thank you all once again for being here. I want to emphasize the importance of the volunteers, the donors, and the sponsors that make this festival possible. This festival was free when it started in 2019 when I was a volunteer before, but when I got more deeply involved, it was a condition of continuing the festival, that we continue to keep it running on the same terms, and it would be in and around downtown Portsmouth, and that it would be completely free to everyone. And that is just, it's really important because the number of people we get involved, not just in the festival, get involved in sea music at all, who find us because they wandered by. They walk through Market Square, they're just like, oh, that's great. That's just, that to me is really what this festival is all about. So I want to thank the North Church, because one of those amazing things is 2 years ago, we were out in Market Square and the pastor stuck her head out and said, oh, this is great. You should be in here. And so the next year we were. And so it's been a real pleasure to work with the North Church, with Pastor Jen Mazur. And this year we're actually, some of our people are providing liturgical music for the service tomorrow. So if you're that way inclined, the festival tomorrow will have a nautical maritime theme for the music. So if that's your thing, come join the service tomorrow. Next I want to actually give a particular thank you to Gina Dunlap for two things that are happening in the second half. Gina had the idea to start the songwriting contest. When was that? 2014 something? Anyway, many, not so many years ago, but more than a few years ago, got the idea to start the Portsmouth Maritime Folk Festival songwriting contest. We've been running it every year, and this year, I was not one of the judges, but I was told by the people who've been judges more than once that this was the best crop of submissions. We had 31 entries. And yeah, right, and from geographically diverse, which is a little weird because the prizes you get to perform here, so it's kind of like, you're in Australia. Which, I mean, no, not that we don't want those submissions, but we don't pay airfare. But the crop of submissions was really good, and at the end we had 4 submissions that were really distinctive and strong, and we weren't sure what to do with those 4, and we had some discussions and did some math. And, there were 3 that were clearly distinguished in their particular categories, and I forgot to grab the certificates, so I'll come back to that in a sec. There was, and they were all 3 of those were from previous winners as well. So Beth DeSombre, who some of you know, got the Best Contemporary Song for Bay of Biscay, which is a lovely song about the fishing industry in modern times. She performed that on the WICN folk revival with Nick Noble a few weeks ago, which some of you I hope tuned into. It's a good time. Two fellows from the Quarterman who are both really great songwriters. John O'Gray had the best sing-along kind of group singing effort for North of the Eye. Great song about sailing and trying to stay just ahead of the hurricane. And Sean Kineen for Mackenzie's Daughter, which is a lovely sort of old-timey river song. But there was one song that really stood out among all above the other three, and that was Faith Senie's. Hi. I didn't read through Deep Cold Sea. Okay, yes. Deep Cold Sea. And so Dan and Faith are going to perform Faith's Deep Cold Sea.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you to all of the judges. In the conversation we had with Nick Noble when he called us to let us know, he said that this is the toughest job they've ever had for judging, and we appreciate the amount of time that the judges put into this sort of stuff, and the fact that that we're really honored to be chosen. I'm certain that most of the people, if not all of the people in this room, are aware of the Stellwagen Bank, which is right off the coast here in New England, in Massachusetts Bay, actually, which is traditionally one of the great fisheries of the East Coast. And there have been many songs about the sailors and the fishermen going out to the Stellwagen and their tales, but we'd like to think about those who stay back on shore and watch. I moved to the east out over the ocean, the vast white sea, the deep cold sea. I pray for a mast to pierce the horizon as I wait for my true love to come home to me. He follows the schools of herring and codfish, the vast white sea, the deep cold sea. I wait here at home with cold bed and warm wish that soon my true love will come home to me. He sailed for the east, for Stellwagen's bounty, the vast white sea, the deep cold sea. I've been here alone for 3 nights and 40, waiting for my true love to come home to me. seas in his blood, the sailing his birthright, the vast wide sea, the deep cold sea, while I watch alone and read through the long night, as I wait for my true love to come home to me, as I wait for my true love to come home to me.
Alright, and as you maybe can tell, that's, I mean, just it pulls so many different things together. The other songs are great, and we're going to try to make them all available on our website along with some of the previous submissions, so that to look forward to. Which reminds me, if there's anyone here who's not on our email list, there are clipboards around here and at other venues. We don't spam you that much. Send a reminder about once a month about things that are going on until we get close to the festival. Then we start spamming. But I simply have, I want to thank Gina for two things the second half of the festival. Starting the songwriting contest was one of them. The other is for introducing us to Steve Turner. You went to some festival in England and met Steve and heard him, I think. Whitney, and said, this guy's amazing. He needs to come to Portsmouth. So it took us a while, but he did a couple of years ago, and we're just so delighted every time that we have a chance to have him here. Just a beautiful voice, amazing concertina arrangements. He plays other instruments too, but as a concertina player, I'm just like, oh. So I don't know what else to say except that I hope you enjoy this next set, which is I'm going to. Steve Turner.
So just tell you how I met Gina. She was at Folk Festival, Little Folk Festival in Whitby. Whitby's an amazing place. It's the most cultured place in Britain. There's something going on every single week. You know, they have the blues festival and goth festival, and you name it, they've got it. And, Gina was at this festival, and I was doing a concert on board a replica of Captain Cook's ship. And there was nobody in the audience, nobody. I think there was one guy in the whole, it's the inside of the ship, you know. The only person who was in the audience was Gina. I didn't know at the time. And it led to this, which is quite amazing. She asked me if I wanted to come and play at this festival. And what's the chances of that, you know? Must be fate. Anyway, you've got to imagine yourself in old Portsmouth, which is probably the most congested place in Britain. It's a little peninsula, about 1 mile wide and about 2 miles across. About 100,000 people live there. You just can't move, you know. There must be something good about it. I can't imagine what. You've got to imagine yourself in Portsmouth Workhouse in 1907, and you could hardly move for gentlemen folk song collectors either. Their bicycles parked outside, and armed with a few farthings to bribe the inmates to give them some folk songs, and all the big boys were there. Vaughan Williams was there, and Cecil Sharp, and Hammond and Garden were also there, and they got this song from a retired sailor called Frederick Fenimore. I've noticed you're in a great chorus singing mood. This is a good opportunity. Come, come, my brave boys, now the wind's right abaft, we will both the low and the high, while steady cries our captain, there blows a sweet gale. We will soon see the English land, boys. We will soon see the English land, boys. If the breezes don't fail, if the breezes don't fail, we will soon see the English land, boys. If the breezes don't fail, we will soon see the English land, boys. We will soon see the English land, boys. If the breezes don't fail, if the breezes don't fail, we will soon see the English land, boys. If the breezes don't fail. Come, come, my brave boys, never mind how she rolls, for as soon as the gale is over, we'll sling a fresh ball, and straight across our masthead there blows a sweet gale. We will soon see the Isle of Wight, boys. We will soon see the Isle of Wight, boys. If we clap on more sail, if we clap on more sail, we will soon see the Isle of Wight, boys. If we clap on more sail, we will soon see the Isle of Wight, boys. We will soon see the Isle of Wight, boys. If we clap on more sail, if we clap on more sail, we will soon see the Isle of Wight, boys. If we clap on more sail. Now we are arrived at Spithead, and we are at our ease. We will pipe hands to Skylark, and we'll do as we please. No more cries our captain, there blows a sweet gale. We will soon take our whack, boys. We will soon take our whack, boys. If the banks do not fail, if the banks do not fail, we will soon take our whack, boys. If the banks do not fail, we will soon take our whack, boys. We will soon take our whack, boys. If the banks do not fail, if the banks do not fail, we will soon take our whack, boys. If the banks do not fail. I started doing festivals in this country about 6 years ago. I had 13 years off the folk scene, and I used to live in Chicago for a very short time, and did a lot of work in America in the 80s. But since then, nothing until I'd say about 6 years ago, and I did, due to Gina, I did Portsmouth and started doing some work in America again. And I had no idea that John Roberts was around, and I met him here because we shared the same accommodation, and that's how I've been friends with him for as long as anybody here has, really. But I did the Old Songs Festival last year, I think, and John was there, and he had a new CD out on that weekend, and he gave me a copy of the CD. And there was a song on it that blew me little socks off, and a song written by Gordon Bok. I've never knowingly sung a song by Gordon Bok until now. And the problem was, I really liked this song. The problem was that John did a definitive version of it. And as you know, he played the gut-strung 5-string banjo, and he did such a wonderful accompaniment to it on that I can only follow in his footsteps. And it's a true story. It's about the last wooden sailing whaling ship that was built in New Bedford in about 1903, and this is a story of what happened when the whale got its own back. March 29, 1910, the little brick daisy did sail. The morning was clear and the sea was down, and we raised a great part way. The captain had 3 of the boats lowered down, and in them the mates they did go. There was Mr. DeLonger and Mr. Aldridge, and Mr. Dennis also. Flew up your royals and topsails, haul your headsails down, for you'll never see the whale no more, nor the cold South Georgia ground. The whales they did rise a mile from the ship, and the other 2 mates made their kill. But Mr. Nace was caught in the pot while the whales were lying still. Mr. Nace stood still in the bow, and he had his lance in his hand. But the whale he had harpooned would not break away, and would neither sound nor turn. It struck at the boat and lifted her high, and the men fell out over the stern, and we saw the flukes come crashing down where Mr. Nace had been. Flew up your royals and topsails, haul your headsails down, for you'll never see the whale no more, nor the cold South Georgia ground. Captain had the stern boat lowered away, and we searched where the whales they did sound. 5 men we gathered from out of the sea, but Mr. Nace was gone. Flew up your royals and topsails, haul your headsails down, for you'll never see the whale no more, nor the cold South Georgia ground. Flew up your royals and topsails, haul your headsails down, for you'll never see the whale no more, nor the cold South Georgia ground. Mr. Nace. I'm going to do a song from the Gypsies. I did this the other night at a house concert. I was told, you shouldn't mention Gypsies. Why shouldn't I mention Gypsies? I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason. Two books were collated by my very good friend Nick Dow, who's a great singer and guitar player, and he collated 2 books of the Gypsy songs, and they're called the Secret Stream. Nick's wife, the lovely Mally, is a Bidikoy. Oh, she's half Gypsy. And the Gypsies in 1970 decided that they had this wonderful array of songs that they should record for posterity, and they got together in a place called Castle Donington in the middle of England, and they got some recording equipment together, and they recorded some wonderful songs, and this is a version of a Northern Irish song. I tend not to sing Northern Irish songs because, you know, they've got their own quirky sort of charm, which English people can't put over. So, you've got to do it in a Northern Irish accent. But you don't, in this case, you don't have to do it in a Northern Irish accent because I had the privilege of seeing the late, great Paddy Tunney singing this song in Manchester, where I come from, originally in the 1970s. It had been in his family for 200 years. And in the notes that Nick gives in the Secret Streams book, this is not the same tune that Paddy Tunney did. Len Graham, who is probably the greatest authority in Northern Irish songs, also has never heard this version either. And this comes from a gypsy called Barclay Rules. It's a love song. And love songs in folk music, you probably know, tend to be very short. This particular song, this happens that the bloke's walking along one day. He sees this girl. And the first thing he does is asks her to marry him. And he also takes the advantage of the fact that he doesn't know her name. And so he asks her name, and she won't tell him. And he also says that she doesn't want to marry him. And so he says, oh, all right then, and off he toddles. That's it, basically. That's what happens in folk music. This is the mountain streams where the moorcocks grow. With my dog I'm gone through the blooming heather to seek for pastime. I took my way. There I spied a most charming fair one, whose charms invited me to stay. I said, my darling, you may find I love you. Tell me your dwelling and your name also. Excuse my name, and you'll find my dwelling near the mountain streams where the moorcocks grow. I said, my darling, if you'd wear a rover, then all my record I would leave aside. Here is my hand, and I'll pledge my honor, and if you prove constant, I'll make you my bride. If my parents knew that I loved a rover, then a great affliction I would undergo. So I'll stop at home for another season near the mountain streams where the moorcocks grow. So farewell, darling, for another season, and I hope we'll meet in some morning day. There we will kiss and embrace each other, and I'll pay attention to your lovesick tale. And arm in arm we will join together, and I'll escort you to somebody low, where the linnet sings his note so pleasing, near the mountain streams where the moorcocks grow. I used to be in a boy band. The granddad band, I think it'd be. And I was in this band for 7 years, and I got thrown out. I can't remember why. I was trying to think why was it. Nothing, something to do with women, I think. Those were the days. Anyway, after 45 years, they forgave me. And I got a letter from one of them. And the letter was from Jerry Murphy. And Jerry Murphy was the Northumbrian piper in the band. And he was the champion of England. Won the Pipes Championship in Alnwick. And he sent me a CD. And the CD was called A Trip to Holland. And it was just privately recorded CD of a concert that we did in Holland. And it contained all the songs we used to do, except, and I recognised them all, except one. And this is the one that I thought, well, I would like to do that now. And I think this was one that we used to do just before I was removed from the band. And Jerry put this tune to music. He put a tune from the Northumbrian minstrelsy called Little Fishy to the words, and he thought it would go well with the words to a song that we all know called When the Boat Comes In. And I think possibly that this may have been the original tune to the words that we all know. If you know this, join it. You probably won't know the tune, but you'll make it up as you go along. Dance to your daddy, sing to your mommy, dance to your daddy, to your mommy, sing. You shall have a fishy on a little fishy, you shall have a fishy when the boat comes in the trot. Dance to your daddy, sing to your mommy, dance to your daddy, to your mommy, sing. You shall have a fishy on a little fishy, you shall have a fishy when the boat comes in. Come in, little Jackie, now it's monkey backy. Have a bit of cracky till the boat comes in. You shall have a fish and you shall have a fin, and you shall have a herring when the boat comes in. Dance to your daddy, sing to your mommy, dance to your daddy, to your mommy, sing. You shall have a fishy on a little fishy, you shall have a fishy when the boat comes in. Sing to your mommy, dance to your daddy, to your mommy, sing. You shall have a fishy on a little fishy, you shall have a fishy when the boat comes in. Our Tommy's always scuppling needs to father there. Oh, he's kind to me, I hope he'll never fail. When you are a man, you shall work with daddy, though the plough is steady as any other man. Dance to your daddy, sing to your mommy, dance to your daddy, to your mommy, sing. You shall have a fishy on a little fishy, you shall have a fishy when the boat comes in. See him over come and sees a tiny woman, yonder country father drunk he cannot stand. Like it not itself, but when I get it sly, and me money bet you like it where was I. Dance to your daddy, sing to your mommy, dance to your daddy, to your mommy, sing. You shall have a fishy on a little fishy, you shall have a fishy when the boat comes in this time. Dance to your daddy, sing to your mommy, dance to your daddy, to your mommy, sing. You shall have a fishy on a little fishy, you shall have a fishy when the boat comes in. So nice to see so many people. It's amazing. I'm going to do a couple of songs by Harry Robertson. Harry Robertson was Australian songwriter, mid-20th century. He came over from Scotland in the end of the 1940s and moved to Australia in 1952. And during the Second World War, he was a ship's engineer in the Merchant Navy, and he worked on the North Sea tugs, towing floating docks up and down the northeast coast of Scotland. And this is a true story. This is the very first song that he ever wrote when he was still in the Merchant Navy before he moved to Australia. And I learned this song off my friend Bruce. Bruce came from Australia, would you believe? Yeah. And he came to Manchester to do his PhD in the 1970s. And Bruce is a great concertina player. And I met him at a folk club one night, and he got talking about concertinas. Yes, what could be more interesting? I'll tell you. Yes. And Bruce told me that he wasn't particularly happy with his accommodation. So I said, no, if you want a bed for the night, let me know. Anyway, the following morning, there was a knock on the door, and it was Bruce. And he said, I've come to stay with you. And he stayed for a year. Eventually, he brought his girlfriend along, and his girlfriend's name was Sheila. Absolutely true, no good lie. Yeah, and Bruce knew Harry Robson, and Harry died in 1985. But I'm going to do this song, the very first song he ever wrote. This is a true story. It's got a chorus that goes, it's cold, it's bloody. I'm watching the time here because I'm not got some exciting thing to do in a minute. Exciting surprise for you. It's cold. Not yet. It's cold, it's bloody cold on the gay grey waters of the north-east Scottish coast. I'm a Shorebird in Aberdeen, it's a fine place to be. When the forsaken gale is blowing out upon the wild North Sea, and your tugboat battle steers thee with a course that's hard to find, and a floating dock that pitches on the tow road far behind. And it's cold, it's bloody cold, out on the gay grey waters of the north-east Scottish coast and tribe. And it's cold, it's bloody cold, out on the gay grey waters of the north-east Scottish coast. Crashing seas bounding from starboard, and the tugboat slews the port. In the dark, the staywise broken, in the cruel storm's deadly sport. On the deck, an able seaman, he fell down dead before he knew what it was. Came out the dark night and sliced his head in two. And it's cold, it's bloody cold, out on the gay grey waters of the north-east Scottish coast. There's no time to mourn a shipment, though its blood has stained the sea, and it's all hands to mend the stay wire and to keep the tow road free. For the stern is dragging heavy, and we're shipping water green, and the chance of being washed over is the best I've ever seen. And it's cold, it's bloody cold, out on the gay grey waters of the north-east Scottish coast. It was up to Invergordon, we was headed with our tow, and thank the Christ we didn't have to steer north to Scarborough. For as you curse your wet and heavy gear, your tired mind starts to dream of the comforts in the trauma berth in the port of Aberdeen. And it's cold, it's bloody cold, out on the gay grey waters of the north-east Scottish coast. And it's cold, it's bloody cold, out on the gay grey waters of the '52 he moved to Australia, and that's where he started writing all his great songs. He's a very prolific writer, and he works again as a ship's engineer, and he works on the whaling fleets. He works on the Antarctic whaling fleet out of South Georgia, and he also works on the Pacific whaling fleets out of Moreton Bay in Queensland, and he wrote all his great songs. His most famous song is The Wee Pot Stove, or The Little Pot Stove, made famous by Nick Jones. And Harry was not a great singer, but he was a wonderful songwriter. And he decided that on his LP, he made one LP in 1971. It was called The Whale Chasing Men, and it contains all his famous whaling songs, the Antarctic Fleet and Queensland whales and stuff like that. And they also contained The Wee Pot Stove. And Harry decided that he would do a spoken introduction for The Little Pot Stove. And I thought it might be a bit of fun to do Harry's spoken introduction as well as the song. It went like this. I place an enamel bucket of home brew on the deck of my cabin. The yellow fluid, barely fermenting now, had the full black bodies of prunes floating in it. Saturday night, my guest stamped into my cabin, covered with snow from the blizzard that howled outside. It had been howling for a week. None of us gave it much thought. This was wintertime in Leith Harbour, South Georgia, and the factory ships and transports had departed months ago for home, leaving us behind to repair the whale-chasing ships for the following season. We did not expect mail, newspapers, or any contact from the outside, other than the official radio transmitter, for many more months to come. The squalor of the whaling station was buried under many feet of snow, and to some extent hid its ugliness. Meanwhile, as host, I filled the mugs of the guests, and they drank deeply of the prune juice. No vintage wine ever tasted better, if one can judge from their eagerness to refill. The first bucket thawed them out. The second started the singing, songs of all kinds, Scottish, English, Norwegian, Swedish, old songs, bawdy songs, ditties, all sung unaccompanied, but with relish. Usually, bucket number 3 produced philosophical nostalgia. Here he mentions that fights would frequently break out. Next morning would see all of us slightly bruised, but relieved of inattentions, crawling over the ice-capped gangways to the ice-covered decks and into the dimly lit freezing engine rooms to repair the engines. Join in the chorus if you know. Where the winter blizzard blows, where island fleets of rise, safe in Leith Harbour sheltered bay, safely anchored Tenerife, see the whalemen at the stations, as from ship to ship they roll, carry bags of coal with them, and a little iron stove, in the little dark engine room, where the chill seeps in your soul. How we huddle round that little pot stove that burned oily rags upon the track, in the little dark engine room, where the chill seeps in your soul. How we huddle round that little pot stove that burned oily rags upon. Fireman Paddy worked with me on the engine's frozen cold. A stranger to the truth was he, there's not a lie he hasn't told. When he boasted of his gold mines and the hearts that he had won, and his boyish sense of humour shone just like a ray of sun in delivered 7 days a week. Hard and frozen feet, hard days and lonely nights, drinking grog and having fights. There's saltfish and whale meat sausage, French penguin eggs a treat. And struggle on to work each day through the icy wind and sleet. In the little dark engine room where the chill seeps in your soul, how we huddle round that little hot stove that burned oily rags and coal. Then one day we saw the sun, saw the factory ship return. See your old friends and you sing a song, hope the journey wasn't long. Then it's homeward bound and it's over, we'll leave this icy hole. But always will remember that little ice stove in the little dark engine room where the chill seeps in your soul. How we huddle round that little hot stove that burned oily rags and coals down in the little dark engine room where the chill seeps in your soul. How we huddle round that little hot stove that burned oily rags and coals. We've got 5 minutes, so got a super duper special surprise for you. Yeah. You know, it's sad in one way that I last sang this song here with John Roberts and Nicole Singer. Neither of whom are here tonight, but John's place has been taken by Chris Koldewey. And this is a song that we've got to teach the chorus on, because I actually sang this last time. I think I sang it the first time I was here as well. And it was rooted with deadly silence. Yes, to a magnificent and wonderful chorus. So, we're going to teach you the chorus. And it's the greatest drinking song. And it's called what's the name of it? It's from Cornwall anyway. They're all the same in Cornwall. All they like is pasties. Padstow drinking song. Well done, that man. Yeah. So it's got a chorus that goes. How's the chorus now? Fortis he who will not merry be, shall never taste of joy. See the capes in view, and forward my brave boys. So you've got 2 chances here. Either you can sing the whole lot, or you can sing see the cape is in view, forward my brave boys. Are you going to have a go? Tell me what.
Yeah. You can try it a couple of times. And here's the thing, if you're at all concerned about getting it, remember, this is usually sung by drunk people from Cornwall. So anything that you put in here will be perfectly acceptable. Isn't that right, Steve?
This is indeed, yes. And after they'd eaten their pasties and thrown the ends of the pasties down the pit, because one of the other parts of the production of tin is that it also contains arsenic. So they had to just eat the centres and throw the rest down in the pit to kill the rats. So the byproducts, yeah. Right, we're going to have a go at this. We've got 5 minutes to go. Have a look at the albums outside, by the way. Yeah, some good ones. Pass the good old bumper round and never mind the score. Pass the good old liquor round and boldly ask for more. For to he who will not merry be, shall never taste of will not marry, marry me, shall never taste of joy. See, see the traits in you, and forward, my brave boys. There's one more thing I'll ask of you before we count the score. Bring to me the girl I love and the key to the cellar door. For to this she who will not marry, marry me, shall never taste of joy. See, see the traits in you, and forward, my brave boys. Once more unto her majesty, before the hell goes round, confusion to her enemies, wherever they are found. For 'tis he who will not marry, marry me, shall never taste of joy. See, see the traits in you, and forward, my brave boys. Thanks, Jason, for the sound. That was incredibly difficult.
Steve Turner. Thank you all so much. We've got a hymn sing at noon tomorrow at the Gunbelow stage. Bill Dunlap will be leading that, if that's your thing. And then the full program starts at 1, goes until 5 at various same places as today. And then at 5 o'clock, we're all going to be back in Market Square for the grand finale, the Shanty Blast. So see you all tomorrow. Get a good night's sleep or whatever it is that you want to do. And see you tomorrow. Thank you all so much.